Hello everyone, my name is Spot, and you are watching The Spotlight, a series of bite-sized shows covering games and things which I found particularly interesting and wish to share. In today's episode, we're covering Mortal Online. Not a new game, been out since 2010. It's a massively multiplayer online game built on the Unreal Engine 3 platform by Swedish independent developer Starburst. What makes Mortal Online unique, in my eyes, is its dedication to realism. Running through a few of the features, it's locked to first person only, there are no character levels and no classes. In Mortal, the core player progression is based completely around skills, and it's obvious that the Starburst team put a lot of effort into making skills a very solid mechanical system. There are a lot of skills. Over 400 it seems. Almost 120 of them are in the category of zoology alone, which impacts things like taming and butchering and crafting and your ability to do these things. Skill leveling happens in very intuitive ways. You can level most skills through use alone, and there's always the fallback of actually reading books, which takes a significant amount of time. Think skill training in EVE. They can even be done offline. With another nod to realism, one of the most interesting things about most skills is that you do not have to learn them before using them. If you want to go out and chop a tree, you can do that, even though there are specific skills for chopping trees. You can usually learn them faster if you read a book, but trying them works as well, just as you would expect. The game world is truly massive. They claim it's 64 square kilometers in size. That's about 28 square miles. And most interestingly, the view distance is the exact same distance as the human eye can see. Obviously, weather will affect that. And there's a full weather system, including a full day-night cycle, and it's quite long. A day or night seems about 3 hours in real time, which isn't completely realistic, but closer than I've seen in any MMO. As previously alluded to, Mortal supports a complete animal taming mechanic. One thing which makes this very extensive is your skill level in the specific zoology skill for that animal directly impacts your ability to tame that animal and control it long term. There are 3 dynamic stats. One is health, one is stamina, one is mana. Health is obvious, you lose health, you die. The stamina impacts your sprinting speed and your ability to fight, which we'll talk about in a moment. Mana is, as you would expect, for magical reasons. There are 2 types of burn on these dynamic stats. One is what you would expect, you sprint, your stamina goes down, you stop, it comes back up, etc. The second one is a more permanent or semi-permanent type burn. It's much like battle fatigue in the original Star Wars Galaxies if you played that game. The only way to get rid of this battle fatigue is to either rest or actually sleep. And sleeping is a black screen, you can only access chat, and it takes a while. They pushed it right to the line where they want to hit as much realism as possible without overly frustrating the player. Oh, and I should mention, someone can mug you or kill you while you're asleep. Mortal Online is a 100% player versus player focused MMO. Anyone can kill you. You can kill anyone. There's also what is considered full loot. This means that if someone kills you, they can take everything you own. That includes all of your clothes. Suffice it to say, there is full nudity in the game. This can be turned off, but for realistic matters, you might want to leave it on. There are consequences to killing someone, fairly serious consequences, but it's possible, and trust me, knowing it's possible changes the entire feeling of the game. Mortal Online sports an in-depth crafting system. The cooking branch alone has 8 different tools, which level up independently and have their own skills. Also, recipes are not documented in-game. You have to discover them through experimentation. Pretty much everything is on this level. Something else I noticed which indicates the attention to realism. You have a hunger meter, as well as your pets have hunger meters. If you don't eat, you will die. You can eat and drink too much, and when you eat or drink too much, eventually you will get sick and vomit, as well as take certain statistical hits if it's something like food poisoning, which is a significantly probable situation considering you are experimenting with cooking recipes. Mortal Online is made up of 10 different races, of which you can choose up to 4 and mix their bloodlines to create your own custom character. The game supports player housing, which you have to build, of course, with multiple tiers in size and add-on modules and all that stuff that I haven't been able to play with yet. It also supports a massive guild system with territory control and elections, and once you control a territory, you can tax the inhabitants. Again, a bunch of stuff I haven't been able to play with yet, but all quite intriguing. Last but not least, Mortal Online's shining achievement, by most people's standards, will be its combat system. This is like no MMO you've played. Even current MMOs that claim to be aiming mechanics don't hold a candle to this. It is melee or ranged, first-person, in-your-face combat with multiple hitboxes, including armor regen damages and directional hits and blocks. This requires skill. Someone who has less armor than you, less skills than you, and weaker weapons can kick your ass if they're more talented with their Twitch skills. This isn't punching a bunch of functions keys. Practice counts. That's just how it is. And remember, everyone can kill you. As far as cost is concerned, the game is free to play. It started out as a subscription and then moved to free to play with a premium subscription. They obviously did not have enough subscribers to keep the game on its feet, which is understandable considering it's somewhat niche. It's not your normal WoW player. It's just a different kind of game. The free-to-play is quite generous. Only difference is you don't get as many character slots, but you get 4 with the free account. You don't get to train all of your skills up to the exact level. You get the same amount of skill points, but you have to make more specific choices with them. The subscription is about, a little over 11 euros, comes out to around $15 in the States. It's pretty good. Definitely easy to check out. There are a few noticeable drawbacks. It's not a brand new game. Even when it was released, I don't think it looked quite AAA, but it is a very small development team, as you would expect. That comes with the niche category. Think Dwarf Fortress. It has amazing fidelity, doesn't it? The new user experience could be quite better. It is a steep learning curve, which is expected with this type of depth, but there could be more tutorials, etc. The community is pretty good. There's a lot of content out there. I learned how to get into it with some video tutorials I found on YouTube, and the help channel in the game is very active. So that's an extremely helpful thing. It's a pretty, I would say, small community compared to some of the more gigantic MMOs out there, so you get more direct access with the development team, which I always find to be a very great thing. Platform support is pretty thin. It's only Windows. There's no OS X or Linux support, which is also understandable considering it's a small dev team. Trust me, I know what it's like having a small dev team trying to accomplish big things, so can't think bad of them there. With enough subscriptions on our part, that could change in the future, we never know. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode, everyone. I'll be back when I stumble upon yet another interesting little tidbit. If you have something which you wish to share, please comment and let me know. I'm continuously looking for shiny new things to mess with. Until next time, my name is Spot. Thank you for watching, and stay safe.